Hi, my name is Seth Roethemeyer. I'm the project manager for Special Needs Playground. This team of 5 is working together to build an all-inclusive backyard for the Cronin family. The Cronin family has 2 daughters named Honora and Sophie. Honora was born with AP inverted duplication deletion syndrome, which is very similar to cerebral palsy. It causes her to have social and developmental delays, causing her to use a wheelchair most of the time for her mobility. The Cronin family reached out to CSU to help build this all-inclusive backyard because implementing an ADA-compliant playground in a residential area is very hard and expensive and not feasible for a family to do. Residential areas don't also require ADA compliancy. So with us, we're building 3 components in the backyard that try to follow these guidelines as close as possible. The first one is a wheelchair-accessible pathway built out of gravel. The second is a playhouse, and third, a 3-person swing set.
Hi, my name is Colin Diehl. One component the team focused on during this project was building a pathway that Honora could use to reach the upper level of the backyard, whether she's using a wheelchair, walker, or she is walking. The pathway is designed to be ADA compliant, which means it is allowed to have a maximum slope of 4.8 degrees. The Cronin family also initially asked that the pathway be heated so it would be able to melt snow and ice in winter months. During the design process, the team was able to build a prototype at the Engineering Research Center, aka the ERC, that would be used for physical testing during the first and second semester. The prototype, which is extremely similar to the final design, consisted of structural fill, a heating mat, gravel stabilizers, and pea gravel on top. The first test that was performed on the pathway prototype at the ERC was a heat transfer test. This test was performed by placing the pathway in a below freezing environment for a 12-hour period. The heating apparatus was then turned on, and temperature readings were taken at the surface of the pathway every 5 minutes. The results were extremely positive as the surface temperature of the pathway was able to far exceed freezing, which validated the hand calculations that were also performed by the team. The next test that was performed was a mobility test at the ERC. This was done by running a wheelchair with weight in it up and down the pathway prototype at multiple extreme angles. The results showed that our material selected would allow for Honora's mobility while using a wheelchair or walker. Late in the design process, the Cronin family decided to move away from the heating aspect of the pathway as they did not want to install an extra breaker into their control panel. The team was able to reallocate money from the budget to add siding to the pathway, which will ensure safety. The final design of the pathway will be as follows: landscape fabric to prevent weed growth, structural fill, gravel stabilizers that will be staked in place, pea gravel, and siding to ensure safety.
Hi, I'm McDonald. The next element of our project is the wheelchair-accessible playhouse. It needed to allow for adult supervision whether the adults are in the main house or in the playhouse with the kids. The aesthetics of the playhouse were designed to fit with a barn theme because both of the Cronin daughters really like horses. Temperature regulation is one of the complications of Honora's condition. The playhouse will provide a space for her that's shaded from the sun, insulated, and also provides circulation. In order to make a more accessible play space, we decided to follow Fort Collins City codes for residential shed design. This meant that the highest point on the roof could be no greater than 8 feet tall, the floor space had to be less than 10 foot by 12 foot, and the roof pitch had to be no shallower than 1:4 ratio. In terms of analysis, the Fort Collins City codes that we're following negate the need for professional engineering. However, we also did additional analysis just to ensure that the frame would be able to withstand peak wind and snow conditions in Colorado. The interior of the playhouse will have sensory equipment that can be changed over time as the girls grow and develop.
Hi, my name is Sarah Martinez, and the third element of our backyard design was the 3-person swing set. It's 12 feet long and based on a basic A-frame design. The key elements to this design are the crossbeam and the swing components, rather than the A-frame. Because of this, most of our analysis was with the crossbeam and the tension that was put on the swing components, rather than the frame and machine design of the A-frame, though that calculation was done as well. Because bending is of primary concern with the crossbeam, we added steel flat to the top and the bottom in order to meet our objective factor of safety of 8. The 3 swings are going to be a standard belt swing, a ADA compliant swing that Honora already uses, and a glider swing, which was recommended to us by the occupational therapy team we are working with at CSU in order to help promote Honora's development.
Hi, my name is Alex McPheeters. As Sarah previously stated, the factor of safety for the swing set is 8. To test the maximum tensile strength of the 3/8-inch 30-proof coil chain, the chain was loaded into an inch-strong 300 series high-force tensile test machine. The chain broke at over 13 kilonewtons of force, well exceeding the safety factor of 8. This test was repeated 30 times with similar results. Finally, we would like to express our gratitude to the many people who assisted us on this project. The Cronin family for letting us into their lives, Dr. Roberts, Dr. Petro, and our GTA, Will Peterson, for their guidance, Steve Johnson and James Tillotson for their installation and testing, Lisa Fife and Taylor Babcock from occupational therapy, and Dr. Dan Baker, Dr. Paul Heiliger, and Dr. Chris Weinberger for their assistance in the analysis portion of this project. Thank you all for the help.